Hello, my name is Gary Witter. You may know me best as the co-writer of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and also writer of the Denzel Washington movie, The Book of Eli. And this is my latest project. I'm very excited about it. I have an original science fiction novel publishing later this year called GUNDOG. But I decided to do something that I think is kind of interesting, a bit different with it. I produced my own audiobook adaptation of it, and we're going to distribute it in a rather different way. Rather than just kind of put it on Audible or whatever, we're going to be broadcasting the whole thing in episodic, serialized weekly format over the course of 9 weekly episodes that will be starting very soon live on Twitch. All 9 episodes will also be available on all your favorite podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. You can go to gundogpodcast.com to subscribe to the podcast via whatever service is your preference. And all of the weekly episodes will be put right here on my YouTube channel starting very soon. I think August 10th, like 2 weeks from today, is when we'll be starting the weekly episodes with episode 1. But prior to that, I've got something I think kind of cool for you. It is a special prologue. This is kind of the opening piece of the book prior to chapter 1. I put this together with some very, very talented friends who were keen to help me with this project. You're about to hear the voice very shortly of the incredibly talented actor Shannon Woodward, who you may know from HBO's Westworld and The Last of Us Part 2. And you're going to be hearing the music of Austin Wintory, one of the most talented composers in the business. I had a ton of fun putting this together. No one's ever really published an original literary work this way in episodic chapters via social media, via YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services. I think it's going to be an interesting experiment. I have no idea if it's going to work, but it's going to be fun finding out. So I encourage you to please mash that like button and don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those things. And that way you'll be sure to get the latest episodes of Gundog right into your YouTube feed here every week, if that's how you choose to follow along with the story. So episode 1 will start in a couple of weeks, but prior to that, we have this little prologue. It's just a short piece that I think will give you a little taste of what's to come. And I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Episode 1's going to start very soon. But right now, let's go ahead and play that prologue. Here we go. Please enjoy.
Gundog by Gary Witter. Here's what I know. The mech came to us in peace. A machine race. From some faraway star system. Actually, not particularly far away by their standards, but impossibly distant by our own. They came offering a new future for our people. Our planet. Science, technology, medicine that would have taken us centuries to develop on our own, if ever. And all they asked in exchange was a share of our abundant natural resources. Water, seeds. Things their dying homeworld needed. Most of my people's history was lost in the war that followed. But this much is remembered. We are a greedy and selfish species. For thousands of years before the mech, we fought each other almost constantly. For every reason imaginable and some unimaginable. We made war over the land we all shared, over the fossilized rocks and oil beneath it, even over whose god was the greater. Hard to believe now, I know. In one story I heard, the world's most powerful nations went to war because one king had stolen the wife of another. So maybe it was naive of the mech, who had surely studied us in advance of their arrival, to believe they would be met with the same spirit of goodwill in which they had come. The greater miscalculation, though, was our own. Despite the mech's obvious technological superiority, they were an inherently peaceful race, and appeared to possess nothing in the way of weapons or military capability. And so our planet's leaders decided, in their limitless cynicism and avarice, that what was being offered by the mech, and much more besides, could simply be taken by force, without having to give anything in return. They were wrong. Though the mech were not a warlike species, we soon discovered that they had more than enough capacity to defend themselves. Gravely insulted by our refusal of their offer of peaceful cooperation and coexistence, and by our sudden declaration of war, they unleashed upon us weapons such as we had never seen, and repaid our insult by claiming our entire world and all of its resources as their own. Don't piss off the mech when they come bearing gifts. That's a lesson my people learned real fast. Our great superpowers joined together to fight back. Maybe there's some irony in the fact that my people, who had been ceaselessly fighting and killing each other for countless generations, now finally united in the face of a common enemy. And for a while, we even made a real fight of it. Using technology salvaged from whatever mech we managed to kill, we augmented our military enough to at least hold on. The war lasted the better part of 10 years. But all we were doing was postponing the inevitable. It was always a losing battle. One city, one stronghold falling after another. Until only one remained. My mother was among those ordered to defend that last city. 20 years ago now, when I was just a baby. She was a pilot of what they called a GUNDOG. The GUNDOG wasn't just our greatest weapon. It was our last hope. Built with some of that sweet stolen mech tech, it was the most fearsome war machine my people had ever created, and an entire legion of them was deployed to defend the city. It wasn't enough. The city fell. The GUNDOGs were destroyed. And what remained of my people were rounded up and enslaved in big labor camps. We call them townships now. To serve the mech, who began to build their own cities on the ruins of ours before the dust even settled. Many believe we deserve our fate. The mech offered us a chance at something better. A bright future, free of poverty and hunger and disease. Everything we'd always dreamed of. But instead of looking to the future, we once again fell back into the ways of our inglorious past. Greed, selfishness, hostility, conflict. We pissed it all away. Started a pointless war and lost it. And condemned all who would come after to a lifetime of suffering and servitude. That's it. That's all I know.